Welcome back to the Jared Briggs Show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. We are going to be talking about money today. You guys, I am honestly going to be talking from the heart here. I've been thinking about this for a little while now. And, little backstory. This weekend of recording this, today's St. Patrick's Day, so you can get an idea of what weekend I'm talking about this last weekend. I was really thinking about like my goals and my dreams, what it is that I really want to accomplish and what I want to do. And I honestly was getting like my thoughts within my own mind, like jumbled up. And I was just like, holy freak, like why is it so complicated? Excuse me. And I was really thinking about it of how I'm trying to make things happen. How I'm trying to force things to happen. And I really reflected back on my life and my personal experiences and was like, you know what? God's given me personal experiences for a reason. He's given me these reasons and these goals, these dreams and these desires for a reason. And when I sat and thought about that, I was like, you know what? Talking about money, talking about finances, talking about retirement planning, you know, what is money? How does money work and what to do with money is what really lights a fire in my soul, within my heart. So I want to talk about a few things, and coming from experience and perspective, I don't have any notes. I don't have anything that I'm like really going off. I really want to talk from the heart today. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a serious problem of money in America today. And I said I speak from experience. Since March of 2017, I've had the opportunity to work in the insurance industry, financial services industry. And I first started out with my life and health license selling supplemental insurance. Accident, cancer, critical illness type insurance where it pays you cash if you have something happen. And it was tough. It's a great policy, great benefits, but it was tough to like really make good money in and like really grow my business and everything that I was trying to do. So I learned of somebody doing Medicare, started doing Medicare, figured that out, and I worked hard at it. You guys, I worked hard at it. And once I got comfortable with that and got that producing a little bit, then I jumped into health insurance. And in the mix of that, I started learning about life insurance. Well, while learning about life insurance, I had a friend give me a book about the infinite banking concept. And I read that book in and out. I read it multiple times. I started watching YouTube videos. I came across other books. I found a guy that had used that strategy with his life insurance to create it as his bank. Instead of going to the bank, instead of having retirement accounts or any of those things, like you really leverage this life insurance policy. And I studied it hard for a year and a half and liked it and enjoyed it enough that my wife and I started a policy. We really believed in it, but it was still kind of like, it's either going to work or it doesn't work. 4 or 5 years down the road, then we started using the policy. So there was a lot of benefit, okay? And I really liked that. Well, in that time in 2020, right around COVID, I joined a kind of a financial planning agency. I was doing Medicare and health, but I still was searching for more. I'm like, man, this isn't right. I'm still searching for more. And I joined a company that focuses more on financial planning. And I learned a lot about life insurance, which was good. I wanted to learn more about life insurance, but they really pushed their carrier that you signed up through, which was fine, whatever. They had some good benefits to them. But then I was sitting in some trainings and the talk and the conversation was mostly on commission. I'm talking about like managing people's money, managing, 401ks, Roth IRAs, and like being a true financial planner. And I remember telling the coach, the guy that was kind of the leader of the whole thing, I was like, but I really want to spend more of my time, teaching people about money and helping them create a better financial life. And he's like, you'll never make money like that. And I was like, okay. And that kind of rubbed me wrong. And so we kept going. And I was learning a little bit more. And the more I learned, the more I was like, man, these conversations are really like, yeah, there's benefit and help to the people, to the clients. There's mostly a focus on commission. And I remember in one of the trainings, they said, hey, here's these multiple good accounts. And if for some reason a client complains, move them to these other ones because this one pays a 2% commission, this one pays a 1%, this one pays 1.5%, this pays 2.5%. And I was like, well, what one's best for the client? And they're like, oh, they all do about the same. They're going to have their ups and their downs and ups and downs, but they're really good paying for you and your time as the agent. I'm like, okay, I just didn't like that. And I ended up leaving that agency. I still write with that carrier. I haven't for a long time, actually. And it just rubbed me wrong. So I just dove back into, selling life insurance the way I was, being a broker with many different insurance carriers and helping with Medicare, health insurance, dental, vision, hearing, all those things. So that's what I've done since 2017. This month actually is year 8 for me in the business. And honestly, recording this podcast, talking about this, one thing that I'm like, man, I want to talk about finances more and money and investing and thoughts. But I don't want people to just think I'm trying to sell products, because I'm not. And how do I portray that? I don't know. That's what's put me off from creating these type of episodes for years now. And I finally decided over the weekend, I'm like, I got to quit being scared of what it is that I truly want. Like, God has given me these goals and dreams and desires for a reason. And I share that because you guys need to listen to that too. Like, I'm telling you from experience, listen to it. Listen to that burning passion and desire inside of you and take action on it. And so going through Medicare and health insurance and being in this business for 8 years now, you guys, I've had the opportunity to have well over 1,000 conversations. Probably over 2,000 conversations or more with people about their financial situation. And you'd be amazed as an agent, the way people will open. Like, I ask one question and they'll tell me their whole life story about their money and their life and their marriage and their kids and like everything. Like, I know so much about people, which is great. Like, I want to have that relationship. I want to, be able to connect with people in a way that is honest and true. But in doing that, one thing that has really alarmed me in true honesty is the way we are planning for retirement in America. The way we are investing, the way we are planning, the products we are investing in. I tell people all the time, you guys, I'm very extreme in one way. And that one way is I'm not a fan of the current financial retirement planning. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to say the accounts. I don't want anybody to get any ideas. But the typical way that people are planning for retirement, I don't believe in it. I don't. And my wife and I don't invest money in it. Unless something crazy changes, I won't put any money in them. I put money in a traditional IRA one time because it gave me a good tax write-off. And then the next year I pulled all the money back out and didn't have to pay taxes on that money because of a strategy that my accountant did. That was the only way. I put $12,000 in, $6,000 for my wife, $6,000 for me. And literally like 4 or 5 months later, I pulled all the money back out. And it wiped out my tax bill, pushed the tax bill later. Like, it was a whole strategy for my business. And that was the only situation. I was like, oh, cool. But I literally invested that money in a zero risk account. I think it grew like 5 cents in that 5-6 months. I was like, I don't care for growth. I literally want the tax write-off and I want to pull it back out. So when I tell you I'm very extreme one way, I am. And it's because of the experiences that I've had, the conversations that I've had. You guys, I want you to go to ChatGPT and ask what the average American retiring today at the age 65 is retiring with income. It's less than $250,000. Now, that is not everybody. I do have a handful of situations where people do have a really good retirement. There's a couple that I can think of right off the top of the bat. They've got a little over $2 million in retirement. Another couple's pushing over $5 million. A couple others, there's multiple that maybe have, $400,000 to $600,000. A handful that have, $200,000 to $400,000. And then like 80% have less than $200,000. I can think of a situation that I'm helping somebody with Medicare right now where this lady worked in a really good industry, and made, for the last multiple years of her career, she made a great 6-figure income. I know exactly what she made. It was a great 6-figure income, and did everything that she was supposed to do. And you would think in that situation, man, you should retire with a 7-figure retirement. And she has less than $200,000. Now, I don't know if she pulled money out of that or what she did, but you could tell she was frustrated about it because she's like, man, like I did all these things that I felt like I was supposed to do. And it's constantly a conversation. I had a couple in here the other day, or last week, I think it was last Friday, at the time of recording this, a week or so ago. And they have less than $100,000, husband and wife. They have less than $100,000. And he pulled money from his retirement the first 8 years. It only took 8 years, and he was out of money and now just living on Social Security and a little tiny pension. and his wife has less than $100,000. And I'm just like, holy crap, like, what is going on? And you guys, that happens every week. It happens every single week. I have multiple conversations. And so I just want to talk about a few things of what I believe and the philosophy that I have behind my experiences. You guys, these are my experiences. This is my personal opinion. This is coming from the mouth of Jared Briggs, sharing real live experience and situation in hopes that you guys, create a better financial plan for yourself and you take action in that plan. One thing that I really look at is these people that did have or do have a good retirement, a decent to a good retirement, a great retirement, is these people were very intentional about their money. Very intentional. Some of them are business owners. The people that have the best retirement were business owners. I've got a couple of clients, like I got one client in that I can think of down in Utah. His income in retirement is a little bit above $1 million a year. That's pretty good. That's his income. That's not how much money he has invested and stuff. That's his income in retirement. That's great, right? I've got another gentleman built a really big business. He's got over $20 million. Another really successful client built a business. So there's kind of a philosophy there. You guys, building a business and really creating your financial plan based on creating a value add that generates revenue for the rest of your life is an incredible option. But that's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. That's actually my philosophy. That's what I'm working towards. I want all my money to be usable that I can exploit back into my businesses and grow those. That is literally my financial plan. And I can talk more about those. But I see a lot of people in business. Then I see people that worked really good jobs, but they were very mindful of their money. They studied the market. They studied their retirement accounts. And they used those traditional retirement accounts, but they managed them. They knew what was going on. They had an interest. Even some of them had a broker, and they worked with that broker. I know a guy, he had a broker for like 20 years. The broker did something wrong and lost the money for him. He took all of his money and went and did something else with it. Like, that's how involved they were. The problem that I see is 99.9% of people don't even know they lost money. You have no freaking clue what is going on with your money. That is the problem, okay? So these people that did really well, they knew what was going on the whole time. And they were very involved. They would contact their broker and be like, hey, this stock is about to pop, or let's move, let's pull the money out here, do this, do that. So they were very involved. But they understood and knew what was going on. Then there's the people that invested. They had their, percentages pulled out of their paycheck and added a little bit more, but they just gave the money to a broker or a financial advisor person, and it just did what it did. And those guys have, a couple $100,000. Nothing great, but they've got a little bit of money. They're going to run out unless they're really smart with it in retirement. They're going to run out of money, but at least they retired with something. And then there's those people that have nothing. And they literally probably didn't even put money in, have no clue what was going on, lived paycheck to paycheck, spend everything they have credit card debt, everything, right? So there's the people that just flat out do nothing. There's the people that do a little bit but have no clue what they're doing. And then there's those that are really involved, understand, and are very invested. And then there's those that are very invested, understand what's going on, and created companies and businesses. So those are kind of the four spectrums that I see. In all of these, every single spectrum that you see here, all four categories that I just talked about, there is one thing that I find and that I see that is a deciding factor of who's going to be successful and who's not. Now, honestly, you guys, I'm now talking about thousands and thousands of conversations that I've had. And the people that I see that have done the best or do the best have created their own financial plan. They don't follow the standard norm, okay? This is my philosophy. This is what I believe. And I've made this up over the thousands and hundreds of thousands of conversations that I've had and books that I've read, podcasts that I've listened to. You guys, I'm very interested in this stuff. This is my natural curiosity. This is the problem that I've really looked at solving in my personal life. And now it's turned into a curiosity, like a passion curiosity mixed within of like, how could I share this with people from a perspective of like, guys, this is what I've seen and I've experienced. So that's my goal and aim to do here. I hope I do a good job of this. I'm going to have to build this muscle and skill. This is my belief. There is no right plan. My true honesty is nobody should have a financial planner. I honestly don't believe. That is why I left that financial planning company, as I was like, what people are paying me to do, they could learn in a freaking week. Honestly, I spent more time learning the sales script than I did learning financial planning. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I should be developing my skills of how to really help people win with money, not how do I freaking con them into buying something that they really don't even need. Okay, is there benefit with financial planners? Yeah, there is. I'll never work with one. Never. I could be worth $1 billion and I still will never hire a financial planner. There's multiple different types of people I would hire before I hired a financial planner. I think everybody, whether you're single, whether you're married, you should sit down, you and your spouse, you individually, and you should figure out what your financial goals are. When you turn 65, 70, 75, 80, whenever it is that you plan to retire, or if you plan to retire at all, whatever your plan is, what do you want your life to look like? Do you want to retire and sit on a beach and sip margaritas and go golfing 5 times a week? Do you want to go on cruises all the time? Do you want to work part-time? Do you want to have a business? Do you want to have a farm? It doesn't freaking matter. You need to remove everything from everybody else with their thought patterns, with their, what you should and what you shouldn't do. You should remove all that crap. And you should figure out your financial plan. You and your spouse, you individually, whatever your situation is, what do you want life to look like? What are you naturally curious in? What is it that you want your money to do? You should create a whole idea of this. And then you should study and search the market based off that information. You see, I don't believe there's one financial plan. I don't believe there's one size fits all. I believe that whole life insurance is a terrible investment for some people and the best investment you could ever make in your life for some people. I believe that traditional retirement accounts, as we know today, are the worst, most awful investment for some people and the most incredible investment for some people. I believe that investing in real estate is an awful investment for some people, an incredibly good investment for some people. Crypto, awful, but for some, good. And everything else, every other thing you can think of. It is really good for some and really bad for others. There is no one right way. You guys, there are millionaires and billionaires in every category I just shared with you. I have clients that have $2 to $6 million sitting in retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, all of them, that they have managed themselves, that they've grown incredibly, that is going to pay them an incredible income, their whole retirement, and leave their kids as much money as they desire to. But they loved it. They studied it. They learned it. They executed it every day, and they were curious and passionate about it. Great. For those people, it's an incredible investment because they enjoy it. They like it. I have some clients that have been investing in their company retirement accounts for years, and they hate it. And I've had some people pull that money out and go do something else with it. Do you see what I'm getting at here? There is no one size fits all. There is no one perfect plan. I seen somebody post on social media the other day. They were at a seminar teaching them about, IRAs and 401ks and all these different things. And I'm like, gosh, I didn't see every category in there. It just makes me sick that there's these financial gurus, okay? Quotations. Those of you on audio, I am quotation the frick out of this. There's all these financial gurus out there teaching us what to do and how to do it. You guys, they are selling a product as much as anybody's freaking selling a product. And that's why I've had a hard time here, because I do believe life insurance is a great investment for my plan, my situation. It's not going to fit everybody's plan. For some of you listening, it's the worst investment you could make because you don't believe in it. You don't like it. You don't see how it works. It doesn't fit your plan. That's where I'm like, man, how do I share all this information without them thinking I'm pushing a product? You guys want to know a goal of mine? My goal is to grow my company to the point that I can let my licenses go. I own the parent company and my team runs everything. They're the licensed people. So I can talk about all of this from a neutral perspective of like, guys, here has been my experience. This is the conversations that I've had. My honest goal here is to open people's minds and just be like, you know, what is the right thing for us? When we're 80, this is what we want it to look like. What is the product? What is the investment that's going to get us there? I had a really cool conversation in church yesterday, sitting in primary. A lady was telling me, we've talked whole life insurance. She's like, hey, I want to get a policy started for myself and my daughter. I'm like, great. Let me know let me know and we'll get it going. And then she was asking me about some other stuff like, the financial market. And I was like, honestly, I don't study it that hard because I don't believe in it. I don't like it for myself. So I really don't study it that hard. I study it from a perspective of knowing how it works and what's going on, but I don't follow it because it's not a place I like to put my money. But there's some people that do and they kill it. That's great. And she's like, yeah, my husband and I have talked that, in the next couple of years, we're going to hit an age range. And in that age range, we're going to reevaluate. And if our investments are doing what we want them to, we're going to continue. But if they're not, we're going to pivot and change because, they'll have over 30 years to do something different. And I was like, wow, that's an incredible strategy and idea. I haven't heard that before. And I told her, I was like, I freaking like that. Like, you guys are very, very aware of what is going on. You guys, my whole goal here is to open your mind. Open your mind to what is out there, what is possible. Because I tell you, it makes me sick. The amount of people retiring and they can't even retire. They are going to live Social Security check to Social Security check for the rest of their life and hope to hell it doesn't go away. Hope it grows. Hope it's enough. And that's all they got. That's all they got. But damn, somebody sold them some investments, promised them the world. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I'm gonna be sharing a lot of things. There's some books I'd like you guys to read. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate in a lot of these things. I'm gonna create some other podcasts. So you guys stay tuned. Because I've studied it from a lot of angles. I've studied it from do this, don't do this. Do this, don't do this. I've studied it from a lot of angles. I'm going to give you a perspective of why I like the way that I invest, okay? And then we're going to drop it here and create some more podcasts and conversations. I look at standard retirement accounts. Some of them, they tax you up front and not at the end. Some of them don't tax you on the front and at the end. They tell you how much money you can put in, all of them. They tell you when you can access them. Currently, it's 59.5 is the earliest you can access them without penalties and fees. When you turn 59.5 and you don't want to start drawing them, at some point you have to start drawing from them so the government can get their taxes. And they tell you when, where, why, and how. And if you make too much money, if you are, what is it, like 430,000 or something, it's somewhere above 400,000. If you make that much money annually reported, you actually can't invest in those accounts. Why? Okay. That to me is like going and buying a brand new truck. I like trucks. I like Dodge trucks. A brand new, limited, fully decked out truck. Parking it in the garage. Making the freaking payments on it. But you can't touch it until we tell you can. And you can only drive it so many miles. And if you don't start driving it at some point, We're going to make you start driving it at some point. Do you see where I'm getting at? The whole financial market has created so much telling us when, where, why, and how. And how much. And it's all based on taxes. It's all based on their benefit. Like when I really look at this, I'm like, gosh dang. Like I'm taxed incredibly on any of the accounts. I'm taxed. I'm told so much of what I can do with that money. And if I saved up, $500,000 in this retirement account, by the time I'm 50, I can't even touch it, or I'm going to get penalized. I got to wait another 9.5 years. You see, a lot of what's helped me in my personal life is access to money, access to capital. In my business, in our personal life, in building our house and doing some of the financial moves that my wife and I have done, having cash has been our biggest leverage, having access to money. And that tool, that resource has been huge. And so something that I really enjoy about a whole life insurance policy is every time I put money into it, it gives me access to money. My wife and I have an account, have a policy. Right now, I could go access however much is available in it. I haven't looked at it. We just paid premium and done some. I need to go check out what the new status is. Let's say there's $40,000 sitting in that account. I can pull that full $40,000 and go do a business investment, pay off a debt, leverage it to buy an investment property, hire someone, anything. Go on a vacation, buy a snowmobile, buy a four-wheeler. I can do anything I want with that money. No application, no questions asked. But while I pull that $40,000 out, it's still growing in interest because I actually don't pull my money out of that account. I collateralize my policy and take the life insurance company's money. And my money stays there growing with interest and dividend. So now I've got my money sitting there and I've got it borrowed. There is an interest rate on it, but I've got it borrowed doing something else. This is my wife's and I's financial plan. We love investing into that because we are growing tax-free income in retirement. Because every dollar we pull out of there, even after we're 65, we don't pay taxes on because it's considered a loan. Okay? At the same time, I can use it whenever I want. Plus, it's growing a death benefit. So when I pass away, my wife pass away, I've got policies on my kids. When they pass away, there's a great tax-free death benefit as well. And so our whole financial plan is we do want to invest money that has the ability to grow by compounding interest, because compounding interest is an incredible investment. But at the same time, we have access to the money to do whatever we want with. I've used it in my business. I've used it in our personal life. We've used it with our ranching cattle stuff. We've used those funds in every area of our life. I actually don't hold an emergency fund anymore. That acts as our emergency fund. So I'm getting all of the benefits that a lot of these other things do, plus I save on a massive amount of taxes, and I have access to it all the time. And so our whole plan is we're going to grow as many of those policies as we can. You guys, I want every penny I can put into one of those. And we're going to take all of that money and grow businesses. We are going to leverage those policies to take loans against, instead of going to a bank and traditional bank and filling out an application and giving your whole life away. We're going to use those as our bank. And then, buying real estate. That's one of my lists that I'm going to buy with it, is buying cash flowing real estate properties, growing businesses. I've used it in my current business and I want to continue to use it in other businesses and really focus on growing business. That's our financial plan, is growing businesses, investing into life insurance, and leveraging all of those together to create a lifelong guaranteed income. That's our whole plan. So this is what I get excited about. You guys, my wife's life insurance was due March 2nd. I was freaking excited to pay that premium. I see so many people that get frustrated about how much money they're putting into their retirement. That means you don't like it. Do you see where I get frustrated when I hear that? And I'm like, then why are people doing it? It's because that's what we've been told to do. That's the only options that we know. But I'm here to say, you guys, I don't think it's working. Like I've said, I've had thousands of conversations now where people are lacking significantly. I think it's time to look at some new options. Okay? So there's some perspectives there of what I like, what I don't like, the pros, the cons, the negatives, a little bit of my wife and I's plan. I'll share a little bit more about that in some coming episodes. But I always was like, I just need to speak from the heart, talk about what's really on my mind, and start developing this muscle and this skill of what I'm seeing in the market. You guys, I probably should start keeping track, because I bet it's 1 in 10 people have a good retirement. If 1 in 10 people in most months. And I'm talking to, I would say on average, 10 to 15 people on Medicare a week right now. That's a lot, you guys. That's a lot of people that are struggling and that are scared. Interesting. You guys, there's benefit. And I said I wouldn't hire a financial planner. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with financial planners. I'm just saying everything they know and learn, I can learn. But if you guys create your financial plan and you have a financial planner and an accountant and a stockbroker and all those in there, great. Use them. Work with them. Strategize with them. Really build and create a plan. That's what I'm saying here is people got to create a plan. And you got to execute that plan because you're excited about it. There's so many people out there that invest crazy amounts of money into real estate, and like that freaks me out. But they love it. I'm like, go for it. That is their financial plan that they get excited about, and they study it like crazy. I get crazy excited about the one my wife and I are building. Awesome. There's pros, cons, there's, benefit in all of them. I fear that the problem is ignorance. 100% ignorance. People have no clue what's going on. They don't know what they're investing in, why they're investing in it, or what it's doing. They literally start working right out of high school, retire when they're 65, 70 years old, and then look at it and be like, well, there's not enough. Well, yeah, you probably should have looked at it 30 years ago and created a plan. Okay? So these are some thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I hope there was some value here. I hope I just sparked an interest of like, man, maybe I should study something. Maybe I should learn about these retirement accounts and how I can really leverage them, because they're good. Because every financial product was created for a reason. And you need to find out what reason it was created for and leverage that and really expound on that and get the most benefit out of that. Okay? Another thing is I would really study diversification, because diversification makes everybody else money except you. Diversification, Warren Buffett said, diversification is insurance for ignorance. And I believe it. The more I go all in on one thing, the better life gets. So study diversification, study what your money is doing. What is money? How does money work? And what to do with it. That is a topic you will never lose if you study it significantly. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Hope you got value from this. And as always, be the master. Ladies and gentlemen, be the master.